All right, what's going on, guys? We're going to go to the drivers' meeting out of the way. First off, welcome to the DES NextGen race here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Please remain off the track till after the drivers' meeting is completed. Tonight will be a total of 125 laps. We will have no stage breaks, 4 additional sets of tires, and 1 fast repair to make it through tonight's race. A few things to note: the only black flags that will be cleared are passing under yellow due to wrecked cars and wrecking into the pits. We will not clear black flags for speeding through pits or unsafe entry or exits. During the restarts, keep the pack tightened up. Laying back to jump the start will result in a penalty. And when taking the green flag, you must maintain your line until you cross that start-finish line. After any yellow flag comes out and you've safely made it through any wreckage, please catch up to the pace car immediately to prevent delaying others from entering the pits. And when cycling through stops, state over the radio what your intentions are to allow others to move around you. Good luck tonight, guys. Have some fun.
Hello, everyone, to the DES iRacing NextGen race here at New Atlanta, the super speedway style 1.5-mile track. We are going to have an exciting one here. I am joined in the booth by Mr. Hunter Davis, a fellow driver at DES, as well as a commentator. And then I'm also joined here by our great producer, Mr. Damon O'Brien, who does a fantastic job. How are you doing, Hunter, today?
I'm doing great, Edward. I'm looking forward to tonight's race. We're here at the Speedway of Atlanta. It's going to be interesting. This track does run like a super speedway, so it's going to be interesting to see how these guys are able to manipulate the draft while still concerned with tire wear on entry. So it's going to be an interesting race to see how this one plays out.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about a tight track, man. I mean, you go into those corners and you push up, but we're joined here by one of our fellow drivers,
super
Scott
speedway, so it's
Hodges,
really
man.
interesting to see
How
how
are you
these guys
doing
are able to
today?
manipulate the draft while still concerned with tire wear on entry. So it's going to be an interesting race to see how this one plays. Sorry, it looks like we're having a little bit of technical difficulties with our interview there. Looks like he may have stepped away to use the restroom real quick before we get started with this 125 lap race.
Yeah, it sounded like he was very tuned into the broadcast there for a second. But, you know, that's what we like to see. Guys watching the replay focus on racing, but they do love to see what goes down on the track and what we're saying about them. So it's nice to see him putting that effort in.
Yeah, now if you're going through, and I know we'll kind of go through this whenever we go through our starting lineup, but if you look at how we qualified, you know, our pole position is a 31.54 all the way down. If you're looking to the P21 position, a 31.7. This entire field is within about a tenth and a half of each other.
And that just goes to show how super speedway racing is. Now, the great thing about Atlanta is running by yourself, it's a lot easier to hug that line. But once you get into the draft, um, you know, the draft kind of pulls you towards the outside wall. So they're going to have to manage throttle control, you know, and everything like that to make sure that they don't run into the wall or pull up into the car next to them.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see kind of like you were saying. So it'll pull you into the corner with a little more momentum than you're used to. So that'll be a little difficult for these guys to figure out. And then also managing through this quad oval here. This Atlanta has a very strange quad over to where you'll kind of hug the red line there on entry. It'll shoot you right back out to the wall, and then you're right back to the bottom. So with all those like micro movements of the guys going through the quad oval, I expect to see some contact and some issues out in that area of the track tonight.
Oh, it's going to be a very fun race as these guys are getting down to gridding already right now. So we're going to see if we can run through the starting lineup with you, Mr. Hunter Davis. Go ahead and give us that lineup if you can.
Starting on your pole position in row number 1, you got the 79 of Jordan Trost. To his outside, Rat Fink driver 54 of Tyler Waltz. Starting in row number 2, third position, the Bayou Boys racer, the 43 Hunter Cox, with Rat Fink driver number 4, Chuck Burley, starting in 4th. Starting in your 5th place position, you got the 59 car Beer Run Racing Matthew Tennant. To his outside, 23, Thomas Long, starting in 6th. Row number 4, you got another Bayou boy, the 38 of Dakota Shears. To his outside, the 70 car, David Hickey, another Bayou boy. Starting in your 9th place position, you have the 6 car of Ryan Godfrey for Beer Run Racing. Undeclared driver, 55, Ethan Schmidt, starting in 10th. In the 11th place position, your 21 car of Aaron Underhill. 11th. 26, Richard Young, starting in 12th. Row number 7, you got the 1 car of Gary Bergeron, starting in 13th. 63, Craig Knoll, starting in 14th. Starting in the 48 car of Max Denda. 16th, TRN driver, 32, Jonathan Geist. '82 car of Christopher Morton, starting in 17th. 3 of Sean Dion, starting in 18th. Row number 10, you get the 9 car of Tad Dabney with Beer Run Racing. 58th of Jonathan Harrison, starting in 20th. DES newcomer, starting in 21st, you get the 20 car of Scott Hodge. To his outside, Beer Run Racing's own number 60, Brian Sosa. That was everybody who qualified, so let's give a quick rundown here of everybody who didn't. You have Tom Ringer, your current points leader in that 68 car. You got Todd Perrott in the 69. You got Tanner Honeycutt in the 13, the 5 of Brandon Hinton. DES newcomer 61 of Jeffrey Goodwin. 67 of Charles Connor. You got the 56 of Mark Holloway. 29 of David Calcutt. And the 22 of Earl Lee to round out your field here tonight. Edwin, we got an absolute stacked field tonight. A lot of powerhouse cars out there from the front to the back. You know, you got the 79 of Jordan Trost going to be leading this field to the green flag. But then you have your current points leader, Tom Ringer, starting in 23rd, who elected not to qualify for this race. I think we're going to see a lot of drivers moving up here to the front as the pace car pulls off. 79 leading the inside line, 54 leading the outside line, and here we go.
We are green flag racing here at Atlanta, and you've got a good start there from Jordan Strauss as well as his teammate on his outside, the 54, Tyler Waltz. and they are getting into this action right away. They're going to do everything in their power to make sure they stay where they're at without causing an issue to themselves.
We talked about this earlier. This is going to be a super speedway-esque track, so it's going to be interesting to see how these guys handle the draft, how they handle their cars are going to just automatically suck up to the car in front of them, so they're going to have runs, but it's going to be when they can use that momentum to make these passes. It's going to make the difference.
Yeah, as you see, the outside lane has kind of failed right now. They're all
car around 23, Thomas Long.
Thomas Long, our P4 starter.
Let's see if we can get a little replay here of what happened to the 23 car of Thomas Long. You see him up there in that silver car right in front of the 21. Looks like he got a little bit of assistance with the 21 car. Kind of sent him around down there into the 6 of Ryan Godfrey, and then it sent him right back up into the wall.
A little after that incident, he got into the 69 of Todd Perrant as well, so another car involved in it.
Let's see if we can, keep an eye on the 69 car and see what happens. Nope, be going the other way because the 69 there started from the pits. It would have been after the incident had happened. Looking here from the perspective of the 69 car, 23 car, hard contact with the 69. That's not going to be good for his race car tonight.
He just didn't know that car was going to be coming down. And I mean, he apologized to him already because they didn't know each other were there. And that's where we got that situation.
69 of Todd Perrant had some significant right rear wheel damage. You can see that right rear was locked up. He's going to have to take it there into the pits. Hopefully get this damage fixed without burning through his fast repair here on lap number 4. We're going to step away to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Ship my pants? Right here? Ship my pants, you're kidding.
You can ship your pants right here.
You hear that? I can ship my pants for free.
Wow, I just may ship my pants.
Yeah, ship your pants. Billy, you can ship your pants too.
I can't wait to ship my pants, Dad.
I just shipped my pants, and it's very convenient.
Very convenient.
I just shipped my drawers.
I just shipped my nightie.
I just shipped my bed.
If you can't find what you're looking for in store, we'll find it at Kmart.com right now and ship it to you for free.
Gone.
First, they're sour. Then they're sweet.
Aw, thanks, guys. Think I'll call him Travis.
Sour Patch Kids. Sour, sweet, gone. First, they're sour. Then they're sweet.
Nice. Now I only get one lecture.
Do you have any idea what time it is?
Sour Patch Kids. Sour, sweet, gone.
Hey, come on! Hey, come on!
First, they're sour.
Come on!
Then
And welcome back after that quick commercial break. You have Ratfink 79, actually Ratfink on the front row. You get the 79 of Jordan Tross in the lead with a 4 Chuck Burley to his outside. Looks like the 69 of Todd Perrant, who had to get some damage fixed, did go 1 lap down trying to get it, so hopefully he didn't burn his fast repair. Your incident, the 23 of Thomas Long, remained on the lead lap. The lights on the pace car are off as we're pulling in here to turn number 3.
Yeah, he's going to be hoping for another fast caution. Something to get him his lap back.
We do have an absolutely massive field out here tonight. 31 drivers. took the grid here as the pace truck pulls off down onto pit road. 79 Jordan Tross for Chuck Burley into the Geico restart zone. Here we go. 79 off to...
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just say 79 off to a big jump there on the inside line. Looks like the 43 is going to follow him, try to get a run up to his back bumper.
The next 3 cars after him in that inside line got a good jump with him, and they have cleared the outside line, and they've taken those positions as the 54 and 21 jump to the outside.
Yeah, interesting development here. You know, with the 54 and the 79 being teammates, and the 4, you think these guys would all try to get together to see if they could get a lineup to where they could get the momentum. Nobody's going to push them. As the 43 is going to try to split in between the 4 and the 54 and try to get a run there on the inside.
You know, even though they're teammates, at the end of the day, they're out here to race for themselves, you know? So I can understand where the 54 is coming from, but it's lap 7. I probably wouldn't have done that. I probably would have stayed behind my teammate. Like you suggested, I'd try and get us lined up and make sure that we're the ones battling for the win.
43, Hunter Cox trying to get a run there, but the 79's not going to give up that bottom line as the 43 peaks again low. 79's going to shut the door and hold down onto that yellow or white line.
43, Hunter Cox, normally a very aggressive driver on these kind of tracks. He's doing a great job staying behind Jordan Tross in the 79, making sure he's in contention, staying where he needs to be. If he can link up with that guy and work with him the entire race, he's going to be good to go.
Yeah, if you pay attention here, when, you know, normally when you're at Atlanta, a lot of guys will take this momentum from running the bottom line. They'll run it to the top on exit. The 79 here is going to hug this white line on exit, try to keep the car there on the bottom so the 43 can't try to make a pass down low.
And if you look at the 43 on exits, just like what you said, carrying the momentum to the wall is crucial. You could see that he's pitching out or pitching hard lower down. He's trying to get that 79 to go up there with him, but the 79 is like, no, I know what I'm doing. We got a caution out.
Trying to go through the field here and see what had happened. We did have this field split up into multiple different packs. Looks like the 67 of Charles Connor is slow. Yep, there it is.
Looks like he gets into it with the 26 of Richard Young. They're right there, door by door, and just kind of came together in that dog leg, the exact area you talked about of being a problem spot.
So if we can rewind it back to when they're in turns 3 and 4, so you'll watch the line that they're running. So it's difficult when you have a car there to the inside, because what you're going to see is as he's coming off the line, he's automatically going to want to push to the wall just by how much speed that they're carrying. So he'll carry a lot of speed to the wall, but when he ducks back down, that's when it gets a little difficult with the spacing between the cars. There we go.
Yeah, it's just that dog leg. It's not like Talladega or Daytona is. At Talladega or Daytona, it kind of sweeps through that area. Here, you've got that double kink kind of, as you see where they are right now. There's a sharp turn, and then after the start-finish line is another sharp turn, and it's just going to bring your cars together if you're running side-by-side.
That's what we'll call the quad oval. So if you look at Talladega and Daytona, we have tri-ovals where it essentially just comes to kind of one center point. Atlanta is a quad oval where it'll come to 2 separate. We have the Ratfink driver 4 of Chuck Burley in the booth with us, currently running in the 3rd place position. Chuck, how's that race going out there for you tonight?
So far, so good. Just trying to keep it straight for the beginning here. Running behind my teammate and then Hunter Cox, so it's all going good.
Yeah, we saw a big group of Ratfink drivers up there. You know, you got the 54 of Tyler Waltz, who's a new Ratfink driver, along with you and Jordan, right? So what kind of strategies do you guys see yourself planning out here to keep those 3 cars up front?
Stay nose to tail. Don't really race. The best thing you can do is, it's all like a super speedway, right? Just get in line and just try to pull away. Basically all you can do. Guys in the back going side by side, you're gonna distance yourself. So that's the goal.
You know, and I do have one more other question for you before I turn it over to Edwin to see what he's got. So what kind of fuel window are you guys looking out here and for tires? Like, you know, how quickly do the tires wear and how much fuel can you guys carry?
We're looking at about, 30 laps or so? Because I think we're on 33 laps to go. So we'll probably we'll probably split it to where we get even tires. So at the end, we have fresh set. So four pits, I guess.
You know, I got to bring up one question, Chuck Burley, and this is something that I brought attention to, and so did my fellow here, Hunter Davis. When you go into that corner, when you're behind the car, it starts to pitch up top. But you and Jordan Strauss have been doing an excellent job, as well as Hunter Cox, of hugging that white line. How hard is it to do that when that aerodynamics pushes that car up?
Yeah, you have to let off the throttle a little. If you stay full throttle, which you can here, you will drift up. So you kind of got to let off a little and then kind of ease back into it.
Well, Chuck, thank you for the interview. We'll put you back down there with your team, and good luck in the remainder of tonight's race.
Thanks, guys.
That was the 4 car of Chuck Burley, currently running in the 3rd place position, right behind your leader, the 79 of Jordan Tross. You got the 43 of Hunter Cox to his outside as the pace truck pulls off. We're going to go into the Geico restart zone. 79 is going to take us to the green flag.
And Jordan Tross is in a lucky place as we go green. He's got 2 teammates lined up behind him. On the outside line is 3 separate teams all up there in the first 3 positions. So you know they're coordinating with each other to make sure their plan stays true.
During that last run, immediately from the restart, we saw this field split up into multiple different packs. It looks like these guys tried to stay a little more bunched up here as we are completing lap number 14.
Jordan Tross is going to be leading the way as you've got Chuck Burley, Tyler Waltz right behind him. But right behind them is the 21 of Aaron Underhill, who's kind of having a confusing moment. Does he want to get in front of Jonathan Geist or Hunter Cox? And he chooses Hunter Cox, which could potentially cause him to cycle back.
You know, looking at some of our big movers here tonight, somebody we haven't talked about yet. You have the 32 car of Jonathan Geist up in the 5th place position, right there behind that 54 of Tyler Waltz. He gridded in the 16th position. I want to say he did qualify, gridded in the 16th position, and has driven his way up to the 5th place. Right in front of him, the 21 of Aaron Underhill, gridded in 11th, is up to the 4th place position. You have a lot of big movers up here early in tonight's race.
Yeah, and that's a very interesting thing, as it looks like Geist is going to continue his momentum forward, but Aaron Underhill choosing to go up there is going to hurt him more. But also Max Dinda, massive mover, leading that outside lane right now. So it looks like we got a lot of good movers through this tight 1.5 mile super speedway style track.
48 and the 21 are going to be locked up together there on the exit of turn number 4. Let's see. Oh, 48 tries to clear, not clear of the 79. 48's going to be stuck up there on that high line. I think if this high line, the high line can be really quick here. These guys can carry a lot of momentum, but they got to get enough cars there to overpower the short distance that lower line has to travel.
They've also got to compensate for that maneuverability from the inside line as you see them starting to maneuver out there. But the problem with the inside line is if you don't get off the throttle soon enough and you pitch up, you're going to get that side draft from the outside line, which is going to slow you down versus allowing the outside line to continue. As you see, they're starting to continue forward after the 4 car of Chuck Burley pitched up to him.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how hard these guys are pushing here so early, as the 48 and the 21 and the 43 are now clear of the 79. 43 is going to try to stay in that high lane and keep the momentum rolling to the outside of the 21 of Aaron Underhill.
Yeah, he's kind of on an island, the 43. Oh, we got a car scrubbing the wall, but he's all good. It's the 43's kind of on an island. His next nearest teammate is not up there with him right now. It's going to be Dakota Shears in the P10 position. So he's fighting hard to stay up front, hoping his teammates could duck and dive their way through the traffic and get up there with him.
Yeah, so when we asked our interview, Chuck Burley, you know, they said they were about, 13 laps or so in with a few cautions, and they had about 30 laps of fuel remaining. I expect their fuel window to be anywhere from 35 to 45 laps. Now, in our next-gen series, we do not have any stage breaks, so it's going to be interesting to see how these guys are able to conserve their tires for that long of a run and then cycle through these stops if we stay green.
Oh, they're doing a pretty good job about it right now. You know, you got the inside line moving a lot closer to that white line. The outside line's moving up. They're trying to stay away from each other. They want to make sure they have distance from each other and they can make the best of their run, as it looks like that outside line is starting to head in the wrong direction. But Jordan Tross actually is going to go up there hoping his teammates come with him, and it doesn't look like they are going to.
Looks like the 4-car of Chuck Burley is going to leave the 79 there to lead the high line. 54 of Tyler Waltz is going to follow and take that high line away from the 43, as the teammates have now started to separate out. It's an interesting strategy here to see how these guys play it out.
And, you know, with having teammates out there, you got to remember, you guys make a plan, but that plan can adapt over time, you know? You're in it for yourself. You still got to win the race. Just because your teammate wins doesn't mean you win. So Chuck Burley went for the move. He made sure he was secure in where he's at, and he's going to hold that position as Jordan Tross falls all the way back to P5. So, P6, he's all the way back there. So he is the highest running Rat Think driver right now. But he's getting cycled out by the 38, Dakota Shears, who is a Bayou Boy driver.
38 of Dakota Shears going to look to the inside of the 4. Looks like the 4 is going to go up top with the 79. Try to get a run there. I don't know if these guys are maybe playing the strategy of falling towards the back, letting this all kind of die out, as we do still have about 103 laps to go.
Looks like we're starting to separate into two massive groups as well. As we've got a car on pit road as well. It's Jeffrey Goodwin. He might have had an issue out there. Brandon Hinton is all the way back in the back of the field. So we are starting to separate out into things. One guy I want to illuminate on, Earl Lee. He is back there running in the 24 position, trying to make sure he can do everything in this power to get towards the front.
Yeah, it looks like looking back at the replay, the 23 and the 61 got together. 61 got some significant right front damage. Had to bring it down pit road to get that damage repaired.
Looks like the inside lane is reigning supreme. We did see a run from the outside, though, which was pretty awesome. But now it's looking like the inside line is where you need to be. As on the outside, you got 3 Rat Frank guys lined up, nose to tail.
One car around.
That's going to bring out a caution. We're going to have to take a quick look at that. I don't think I saw that one. It might be an uneven push.
You got the 1 of Gary Bergeron and the 58 car of Jonathan Harrison involved in this incident.
That was right as those Rat Fink drivers were getting lined up perfectly together.
Looking here at the replay from the perspective of the 43 car. Looks like the 1 of Gary Bergeron is going to go high. 58 is going to go down to the bottom. Turn him around. A little bit of contact there with the 43. Hopefully not too much damage.
Yeah, that was just an uneven area. You know, he thought he had a nose in there. The one car thought he might have been. Oh, no, it looks like he actually pushed up to him. The draft sucked him up right to him. So he may have been off the throttle or anything. I don't think that's crazy anything right there. And neither car got substantial damage, as we see cars hitting pit road now.
Handful of cars are going to bring it down here to get some fresh tires, load up on fuel. We're going to step away to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. And we are back from that quick commercial break. The lights on the pace truck are off. 48 on the inside. You got the 21 of Aaron Underhill on the outside to lead this field to the green flag.
Interesting shakeup in the front. A lot of guys went down pit road, so the 48 is going to take them to the green. But everybody up there all the way back to far back there have not been towards the front. These guys have been in the second group behind them mostly. So it's going to be an interesting one as the 48 and the 21 actually get both good jumps, and they're able to get back 1 and 2 right away immediately.
Yeah, while we were under commercial, the 61 of Jeffrey Goodwin, who had to pit under green flag conditions to repair some damage, got 1 lap back. He is now the first car 1 lap down.
And he's going to be looking for that caution coming out again if anything does happen. But at the same time, we had a front runner get a penalty on pit road, and he is all the way to the back. So Hunter Cox is going to be looking to work his way back towards the front. We know he's a strong driver. He's in P22 right now. Look forward to him coming towards the front.
Yeah, looks like this field has started to separate a little bit. We get the top 6 cars to include the 1 car of Gary Bergeron, who was involved in that most recent accident up there in the 6th place position.
Yeah, he chose not to pit under that last caution, so he was able to stay out. He didn't hit anything, so it's not like he had any kind of damage as he jumps in front of the 82 of Christopher Morton.
Looks like we had a lot of guys elect to stay out. We have a lot of new names up here in the top 10. We have Scott Hodge, who's a DES newcomer, up in the 8th place position running right now. Brian Sosa, Beer Run Racing in 9th. You got Richard Young in that 26 car in 10th. And DES's very own Earl Lee running up in the 11th place position.
Another newcomer that we haven't talked about is a 58 of Jonathan Harrison. He's in the P3 spot, and he is holding firm as those guys have tried to pass him. He's got a veteran of DES, Craig Knoll, behind him, so he is trying to do everything in his power to hang there with Aaron Underhill and Max Denda.
As this field has now split into 3 separate groups. We gridded with 31 racers out here on this field. We still have 31 racers out here on the track.
One thing I do want to call out in that second group, if you look back towards their 4 car has moved to the top side. The 79 is with him, and look who just popped up there with him now too. 54, Tyler Walls. Going to be a Rat Pink outside line. They're going to be looking to make something happen. They did say they want to hug that white line, but it looks like right now they've got to go a little high.
It looks like they are trying to clear the 20 car and the 60 car. They're rolling that outside lane. They'd like to be leading this inside charge. Those guys are going to try to get linked up bumper to bumper.
It looked like the 20 car was going to jump up there and block the 4, but then decided that he killed the momentum and came back down. But it kind of looks like it was a bad decision because that outside line is in motion around him right now.
One thing I do want to bring up, so for those of you that are watching on YouTube, make sure you click the settings icon, watching in 1440, as we do have some new features here on the broadcast. If you look in the top right of your screen, we have a layout of Atlanta Speedway with where our drivers are currently running, and whoever we're watching is going to be the bigger number of all of them. So you can see the 3 distinct groups that have split up here into this field. You have Group 1 going into Turn 1 right now, Group 2 in the quad oval, Group 3 is coming out of turn number 4 to cross the stripe right now.
Honestly, separating in these groups is kind of helping them out. They're able to get some more green flag runs. That Rat Pink group is actually about to start their own group of just those 3 as they're pulling away from the 20 car right now. And if you look back behind them, it's not a lot of camaraderie going on back there. A lot of those guys come from different organizations, and they are in it for themselves when they're near those people. You race people that you don't work with a little bit harder, so they are finding it harder to line up nose to tail, as I'm actually proven wrong as they caught the Rat Pink guys.
Rat Pink group has now single filed out to lead that second pack. You still got the 48 of Max Dinda in the lead. Looking back here, you got the 69 of Todd Perrant, the 23 of Thomas Long out there racing side by side.
Yeah, they're going to need to line it up because they are in a group by themselves. They really got to get it squared away so that they could start heading in the right direction, because we did see how we got a car spinning.
Car in the wall, 60 car.
20.
Cars wrecking high. Looking back here at a replay of what happened. Looking at the 60 car of Brian Sosa. You got the 13 of Tanner Honeycutt in the picture. 20 there to the outside.
And you know what I'm going to have to call that is desperation to get in line. He pulled out expecting cars to go with him, and they did not. So he was desperate to get back, realize how close the 60 actually was, and clipped him. You know, it's not like he intentionally did that or was out to get him or was being aggressive. It's just he wanted to make sure he wasn't getting freight trained.
Yeah, some pretty significant damage there for the 60 and the 20. 60 made head-on contact there with that outside retaining wall. I expect both of them to go down to pit road, possibly use a fast repair. If not, repair some pretty significant damages from that incident.
And we've got a lot of the leaders on pit road. The 48 is on pit road. But the interesting portion is the guys who are in the second group right behind them are also on pit road.
Yeah, so remember we talked about the fuel window between 35 and 45 laps. I expect a lot of these guys to come in here, top off on fuel, get new tires if they haven't already, to start this next segment of tonight's race.
And it looks like the 54 actually stayed in pit road a long time. He might have repaired damage. A lot of guys are coming down to get tires, but the ones who got tires the last time actually came down to just get fuel. So interesting shakeup about to happen towards the front.
Yeah, those 4 to 6 second pit stops, those are going to be fuel only. You see them take right side tires. They'll be between 8 and 10. Anything between 12 and 14 is usually going to be your 4 tire stops.
As we've got a new shakeup in the front of leaders, so we're going to see how this plays out, because if my screen is correct, Dakota Shears and Hunter Cox teammates will be lining up 1 and 2.
While we are going to step away to a quick commercial break, we'll be right back.
At the river mouth, the bears catch only the tastiest, most tender salmon, which is exactly what we at John West want. John West endured the worst to bring you the best.
Try to make friends.
Want a Dorito? Hey everyone! The new containing out Doritos!
Doritos?
You make friends.
And we're back here at the DES iRacing Next Gen race. Dakota Shears, Hunter Cox, Thomas Long, Matthew Tennant, Craig Knoll, your top 5.
Pace truck pulls off 38-43, leading this field to the green flag through the Geico restart zone, and up through the gears we go.
And it looks like 38 got a good jump off of the 23. He's actually going to clear his teammate. They're going to be able to get down in front of him, but there's going to leave Max Dinda out to hang. Never mind, he's able to clear the 23 and get right in front of him. So it actually looked like the inside and outside both got good jumps here. As now those guys are going to be looking to check out on the field.
Yeah, that was a good play by these guys. We do have a rule here in DES where they must maintain in their line before they cross that start-finish line, just to alleviate any three-wide racing incidents, any huge checkups before you cross the stripe. So good play on those guys to play by the rules and safely make those passes.
Look how they spread out in that triangle area, you know. They are spreading out bad up there. So you're picking up draft from the inside, the outside, everything once you get that area. So as we see them go down here to turn 3, we're going to see them exit turn 4 and then watch them spread out drastically into that triangle to try and pick up every inch of air they possibly could. Look at that sporadic moves as Matthew Tennant goes high.
38 still leading this field. You got the 59 of Matthew Tennant now leading the outside line with DES veteran Max Denda to his rear bumper. These guys are going to be trying to make that high line work. They got a decent amount of cars up there. I expect them to see the momentum start to carry. Oh, 48 around, 38, 22. Massive wreck there in turn 3.
Oh, 6 car comes flying in. There's a little wreck in front of them as well.
Let's see if we can get a good little replay of that. The 48 car and the 38 looks like where it all started. Looking here to replay from the perspective of the 21 car of Aaron Underhill.
Looks like they both kind of got a little switchy right there before they entered the corner. 48 first got a bobble. 21 then gets a bobble as well behind him and just so happened to catch him and send them around.
Yeah, that's the issue. Looks like a little bit of an uncentered push there by the 21. Got the 48's car very unhappy down into the 38 car. And the wrecking ensues.
And then you see Geist also there as they're trying to avoid the wreck. They push down and take out Geist. Oh, something happened under caution. The 9 and the 26 had some kind of issue under there too, as we're taking a look at Geist right now.
Looking here at the perspective of the 32 of Jonathan Geist, trying to escape this. Looks like he got turned around hard there into the outside wall. 70 involved. Ooh, massive contact there on the inside. If there was a big one here at Atlanta, this would qualify it.
Yeah, it just looks like the 32 was trying to avoid the wreck, and all of them were trying to avoid the wreck, and they just came together. You know, this isn't like Daytona or Talladega. Yes, it's super speedway style, but it's very easy to cram together because it's a thinner track, and that is what brought out that situation.
Let's take a look at the 26 of Richard Young and the 9 of Tad Dabney. They had a little run-in under caution during the pace laps. Let's see what kind of damage they got. We can rewind this back a little bit. There we go. Looking here at the perspective of the 9 car of Tad Dabney. Let's see what happened here.
Oh, it just snapped on Tad.
Not quite for sure what happened there. It looks like the car just snapped around to the right. Don't know if maybe the wheel disconnected. 26 car, massive impact to the right rear of the 9 car.
There wasn't much the 26 could have done to kind of avoid that. A car just appearing right in front of your face, that's always going to become an issue. It just seems like it just, some reason, snapped it to the outside wall.
That's a bit of a shakeup in the front runners up there, Evan.
Oh yeah, it's a big one. You're gonna have a lot of cars that have had damage or are now mitigated to the back, getting repairs done, things like that. You know, Geist, Schmidt, Underhill, Souza, and Charles Connor are all relegated back there. But now these guys are gonna have to battle new contenders towards the front. Matthew Tennant is actually going to be leading them down. But look who's right behind Tennant. You got the 4 car, Chuck Burley. He is back up in there. But then also Thomas Long. He has really not fallen out of the top 10. He's just kind of been hanging around, avoiding incidents, putting himself in the right position.
He did have a few incidents early on, so I expect him to have a little bit of damage. Hopefully he was able to get it all repaired, as it looks like the lights on the pace truck are off as it pulls down. You got Matthew Tennant, Hunter Cox leading it up, Chuck Burley, Thomas Long, row number 2, Craig Knoll, 79 of Jordan Tross, row number 3. Here we go, up through the gears.
As the 59 gets a massive jump, 43 is going to take advantage of that drop to the inside, but the 59 is really out there. And the problem with this type of track, those guys are going to have some draft compelling them up to him, and it's going to be on him to either block those runs or just let them freight train by him, as he usually chooses to go to the top side for a bit, drops back down low to the inside.
23 of Thomas Long is going to be hung out to dry there on the high side. Looks like the 43 is going to go with him. Try to get the momentum here on the 59 coming out of turn number 4.
And he is actually holding strong out there without a lot of help. You know, he's going to try and look to side draft something to keep himself in contention until he gets some help behind him.
Yeah, I expect him to see maybe a couple laps before these cars actually get up to their full speed and that inside line starts making use of the shorter path around the track.
He's still holding strong on that outside. You know, I don't know if he'll be able to clear him, but he's going to get pretty darn close to doing so.
Still two by two onto the backstretch. 43, 59, battling it out, heading into turn number 3.
This is the tightest battle we've seen all night right now for the lead. These guys are holding true side by side. 23 giving that 43 all kind of air push. 4 car helping out the 59. They are doing everything in their power because they know if the car in front of them goes front, they're going up front too.
58 car with a little bit of contact there on that outside retaining wall. That is the Jonathan Harrison, and a caution is out.
Looks like the 55 is around, as well as the 6 of Ryan Godfrey. They're both around on the back stretch right on the exit of turn 2. Oh, 6 car is just around in front of him. What happened to the 6?
Looking at the perspective of the 6 car of Ryan Godfrey, you got the 38 of Dakota Shears on the inside. They are 3 wide heading into turn number 1. Contact there with the 82 on the outside. 48 goes low and looks like contact with the 6 there.
That looks like just some aggressive driving back there. They don't want to lose the draft and lose the people in front of them, because right in front of them is a train of 3 Rat Fink guys. They're not trying to lose out on them. The 82 contact right there. That one doesn't even look like they really truly touched each other. Maybe that one was a netcode incident.
One thing that is important to pay attention to here at Atlanta is you cannot pass below that double white line. So if you go down below that double white line to make a pass, that can be classified as a penalty depending upon the instance. So that's just one thing. Oh, and massive contact there with the 55. That is definitely going to end the 6 car's night if that fast repair is already gone.
That's going to end the 55 as well. I don't know what was going on there. Maybe he thought the 6 car would stay up a little closer to the wall, and then he just cut down. And then, I don't know. That one was interesting.
We're going to step away to a quick commercial break. We will be right back.
Hey, Mike, I know you think your truck is totally sick, but this is what I think of your precious 4x4 hang out all day with your stupid friend's truck! Push it!
Red Bull gives you wings. Red Bull gives you wings. Red Bull gives you wings.
And welcome back. Pace car just pulled off. 43 leading the field to the green flag. 23 behind him. 59 leading the outside line as we get up through the gears here heading into turn number 1. Under caution, it looks like we did have some guys cycle out. You have the 69 of Todd Perrant, who was involved in that incident on lap number 2, who has made his way up to the 11th place position, graded in 25th up to 11th. You got DES newcomer Donald Calcutt, gridded in 32nd position. That is not qualifying, dead last position, up to the 10th place. These guys are making through 59, almost clears there on the high line. Oh, 23 around. Car hauled 63 into the wall, 38 involved. Caution is going to come out. We can look back at the 38 car of Dakota Shears. We can get a good little envision of what happened here. Like 60 of Craig Knoll involved, the 9 car of Tad Dabney involved. Let's see if we can get from the perspective of the 63 of Craig Knoll. All right, we got the 9 of Tad Dabney. So it looks like it initially started with the 63 of Craig Knoll and the 23 of Thomas Long. 23 of Thomas Long gets sent around there to the inside wall down towards pit road. Craig Knoll comes back up onto the track, trying to maintain the momentum, and looks like accidents ensue there on the outside.
Yeah, that's the problem with momentum-based tracks, is when you have that momentum, you're not really wanting to give it up, and I can't fault him for that. He had the momentum, he tried to make it work, and it just unfortunately bit Thomas Long.
While we are under yet another caution here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, I want to give a shout out to DES iRacing. If you're interested in getting out here on the track with us, you can head on over to racedes.com. Hop in the Discord. You can get the iRacing league codes there as well. We run the ARCA series on Wednesday night. We're creating a new series, GT3s, that are going to be running road courses on Thursday. We run the NextGens on Friday, 2 separate truck series on Saturday, and then we run the Xfinity series on Sunday. So we have a week/weekend packed full of racing. If you're interested in getting out on the track with us, head on over to racedes.com for the Discord link and the iRacing UI codes.
I know me and you both will be out there turning some laps, so we look forward to seeing new people come in and join us and have a good time out there. I'm definitely looking forward to the Legacy Trucks, the first race on Saturday, and you're looking forward to getting 4 in a row in premieres, so it's going to be a great time.
Yeah, we got a weekend packed full of racing. The Legacy Trucks are going to a nighttime race at Charlotte. You have the Premier Trucks are going to be at Michigan. and then your Xfinity is going to be at New Hampshire. So back-to-back short track weeks, going from Martinsville last week in the Xfinity to New Hampshire this weekend. So it's going to be an interesting race, interesting weekend, packed full of good racing.
All different types too. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to continuing this race, but go ahead.
Oh, yeah. No, it's going to be a fantastic time throughout the weekend, but we are side by side here. Matthew Tennant able to maintain his position up front. Hunter Cox is going to be the guy leading us down to the green with the 58, a newcomer, Jonathan Harrison, right there in P3. Chuck Burley going to be in P4. Jordan Tross, P6. Tyler Watts is going to be in P6. And the reason why I bring that up is that's that Rat Big group who are working well together.
All right, Edwin, as we are on the backstretch with one to green, let's go ahead and go through who do you think has the best chance or is in the best position to win this race here tonight?
I'm going to have to give it to somebody a little further back than the front. I'm going to have to give it to either Tad Dabney or Sean Dion. Their kind of locations are perfect in my mind. You let those guys get separated, have the issues they're having, because most of our incidents have happened towards these big battling groups. I'm going to have to say being back there towards those guys is a better option.
I'm going to have to agree with you. I think that we're going to see something interesting happen towards the end as these guys up front are battling really hard. We're going to go to the green flag, up through the gears, 43 with a big jump, 59 to his outside. But I am personally looking at somebody like the 69 of Todd Perrott. The fairy tale story for here tonight. He was involved in an incident on lap number 2, has recovered from being multiple laps down, and is now up there running in the 9th place position. So somebody like that who's started from the back, worked their way back to the front to see how this one is.
And I do say that's a very well put pick as the 4 car gets pushed up kind of towards the wall there. But yeah, Todd Perrott, his recovery has been a kind of a fairy tale, but this front group is getting a little dicey here, you know, with the 29 also up there, who, by the way, that 29 car is also a Rat Fink driver, and he is up there.
As we are side by side with this lead pack going into turn number 3, you got 4 cars there on the outside. You got about 6 there on the inside. Let's see who's going to get the momentum coming onto the front stretch.
Yeah, the problem is going to have to be that the 43 and the 59 are sitting on islands by themselves right now. Yes, they can have good relations with people and people who want to help them. But at the end of the day, they know those people are going to be a tad bit more aggressive because they don't have a single teammate up there with them. You know, teammates don't make the race, but they dang sure can help it. And these guys are fighting hard. As Jerry Bergeron, who is a independent driver, he's no stranger to that emotion, and he is pulling into that P3 position.
I want to point out we do have a new race leader. The 59 car of Matthew Tennant gets a run there on the high line with the 1 of Gary Bergeron. Tried to bring the 1 car with him. 1 wasn't able to clear. New leader, 59, Matthew Tennant.
And he did what he had to do. You know, he could have hung up there with the 1 car and potentially got freight trained, you know, because the momentum does die on the outside. But he decided, hey, I'm going to get in front. I'm going to try and control this race. But the problem with that is you are burning more fuel. You are not out of the throttle as much as the people behind you are. So he has to keep attention on that fuel gauge.
Yeah, looking at our track map, one of our new features up there in the top right, the field has now split into 3 separate groups. You have your main group with the leaders entering turn 3. You have group number 2, probably about 2 seconds back from the lead group. And then you have the 60 car of Brian Sosa and the 5 of Brandon Hinton, who are 12 seconds behind your leader, the 43 of Hunter Cox.
And the thing about that second group, as they just kind of figured it out right now, there's only 1 car really on the outside back there in that second group. So they are working real hard back there to get lined up and get towards the front.
I didn't want to cut you off there, but the 58 car, that would be Harrison. Yes, Jonathan Harrison. Looks like he got a little bit loose there coming through turns 1 and 2, slid onto the apron, was safely able to re-merge with traffic. That's going to check up the 79, the 9, and the 54. Lose a little bit of momentum, but we stay green flag as we are now halfway complete through tonight's race.
Yeah, and that's going to definitely hurt his run, but he is already getting back to working with people, trying to make his way towards the front. We're going to take a look at a replay here. He kind of got shuffled into a 3-wide scenario, and he goes into the corner, not quite clear of the 79, gets caught, but was able to remerge safely. That's a save. That's a save and a half right there.
Looking back up here at our lead pack, you have about 7 cars that have separated themselves from the rest of the field. 43, Hunter Cox is leading this charge. You got the 4 Chuck Burley in second. DES newcomer 29, Donald Calcutt up there in third place position. He gridded in 32nd, now running up there in third. You got the 59, Matthew Tennant up there in fourth. 1 Gary Bergeron in fifth.
We got a wreck.
Caution is out.
I heard over the radio the 48 said they're wrecking, and he was able to get through it. So we're going to kind of take a look back there to see what happened right around him. Looks like the 67 was somebody who went around.
Let's see if we can take a good look here at the 67 car. Ooh, big blink in there by the 67. You'll notice that internet connectivity issues there on the outside. I don't know if nobody really knew where to go, or he couldn't see him, but 67 comes down across the nose of the 70 car and around into the infield.
And he got very lucky because his spin ended with no damage onto anything. He could just hit pit road, get a fresh set of rubbers on that thing, and get back going.
We're going to step away to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
This looks great. This must be yours. I found it on the kitchen table.
Thanks.
Mommy, have you seen my hamster?
Well, isn't he asleep in his cage?
Have you seen my hamster then?
No.
But honey, go upstairs and look thoroughly. I'm sure. Probably behind the bed, like where you found him last time.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't have to literally run.
They're eggs on weed, and we all agree they've got no idea where this is going to lead.
I know what they say, but there are benefits to driving high.
Yeah, like focus benefits.
We're keeping it safe.
Wait. We're been focused, man.
Yeah.
Is that a word? Yeah, because we're doing it right now. We're been focusing. Hello.
Hey, I'm so benefocused that I deserve like a medal or like a crown and a scepter or something with my name on it. Wait, what?
Marijuana, stimulating, mind-expanding, safer to use than alcohol. It's the in thing, the hula hoop of the jet generation. Marijuana is an intoxicating, mind-muddling drug and as much a part of growing up as smoking corn silk behind the back fence. This has been the public service message of the American Medical Association and your local station.
That he fell. Whoa, I'm not driving. I'm way too stoned. How are you feeling, Veer?
Oh, since we had that talk, I'm not driving tonight at all.
What about you, Dave?
You only had a couple of drinks.
And only a couple of puffs.
I don't drink and drive. No way I'm getting behind the wheel when I smoked weed, too.
How are we getting home, then?
Oh, you can drive, Dave.
Come on, Dave.
Take one for the team, buddy.
Don't let weed and alcohol influence your decision to drive.
We are back live here at the Next Gen race as Craig Knoll and Earl Lee are leading them down to the green flag. Earl Lee, resident DES guy right there in the front, trying to put his skills on display. And it looks like we got a little 3 wide situation going on behind these guys, but they sorted out. Oh, car darting down. It's going to be the 60 car. He's into the wall. Looks like a 1-car incident. And we keep going in the right direction as we've got a new leader. Tom Ringer is able to cycle his way to the front past those 2 lead cars, but he's got the 43 all over him. But right behind them, you've got the 29-79 right there waiting for their chance to pounce as well. The 43 is locking bumpers with that 68 right now. And they are going to be single file in the front. The 43 still shoving the 68 around this track. Earl Lee is off the track right now. He might have had hit road.
Tom Ringer leading this charge, 43 to his rear bumper. You got the new DES newcomer, 29, Donald Calcutt in third. Jordan Tross, your pole sitter, running in fourth.
And then right behind him, another DES newcomer right there in the 58 machine. He is there, Jonathan Harrison. He is putting on a good show, making sure his name is out there and shouted out too. With the 59 behind him, looks like the front runners are getting single file. The last one in that order is going to be Charles Connor in the 67.
Charles Connor in the 67, looking to the high line of the 1 car of Gary Bergeron. Let's see if we can get the momentum here to clear him here on the outside.
With the way these guys pitch up in that dog leg, he's going to be gaining a little bit more every now and then of air right in front of his nose. But them running side by side is actually hurting them, and they're starting to lose the draft.
Yeah, these guys have significantly started to spread out. Let's see if we can maybe get our track map up there in the top right so we can see the difference in these guys and how far they're spread out. Looking up there, you have our lead group into turn number 1 with a few stragglers there behind there. You have the second group spreading out through that turn about a few seconds behind. And then you have 1 car that is way back there by himself. 2 cars, sorry. You got the 5-car Brandon Hinton, the 61 of Jeffrey Goodman.
Looks like Earl Lee has decided to call it quits. He led a lap, decided he didn't want any more of this, and he is taking it to pit road. So that's 1 car we've lost today.
31 of the 32 cars that gridded this race still out here on the racetrack. We're going to bring Scott Hodges here, who was previously in this race, was involved in an incident. Scott, walk us through what happened here for you tonight.
Just got checked up here and couldn't really do anything, and I think I just lost all the throttle, but that's all really. But yeah, had a fun time while it lasted, but good luck to my teammates. That's really what I want. Just rooting for my teammates here at he's actually second place right now, Hunter Cox. So make sure.
So yeah, let's talk about your teammates. You know, you had the 43 Hunter Cox has been front running all night tonight. You know, you got the 38 Dakota Shears who has made his way to the front, involved in an incident, and then made his way back to the front. You know, what kind of strategies did you guys play out here tonight that have been successful for these guys that are still in the race?
Well, you see what the 43 is doing. He was a little involved in a wreck early, and he moved his way back up. He's trying to save some gas now, but I think he's doing just fine. But other than that, what we play like is just play a little conservative, just not too aggressive. Just keep on going and see what we can do at the end. Just try to save until the end.
Yeah, that's an excellent strategy out there tonight. It looks like a lot of these Ratfink guys are kind of following with the same thing. I mean, you got the 68 of Tom Ringer leading this race. His two teammates. You got the 56 of Mark Holloway, the 4 of Chuck Burley there running the outside line with that front group. So it's interesting to see how these guys are playing their longevity strategy. You know, Tom Ringer started from the rear of the field, 23rd position, currently in first. You got Mark Holloway, gridded in 31st, has made his way up to the 7th place position. So a lot of these guys who played the longevity strategy, played the safety strategy, have now made their way up here into this front pack and are now racing for this lead.
Yeah, they're putting on a real good show out here right now, and they're actually coming up on a lap car who has no draft. Now, the interesting thing about that lap car right that they're coming to, that is one of Scott Hodges' teammates right there, Christopher Morton. And he's going to decide to take to the high line. He doesn't want to get involved in this. He wants to stay out of the way, give fair racing a chance. And, you know, that's a admirable thing of him. But that almost kind of shook up those guys, you know, whenever a lap car comes into play, especially if that lap car chooses to stay hugging the bottom, which they're allowed to do. They can choose the bottom. They can choose the top. But if they choose the bottom, it can really throw a wrench into the plan of all these lead lap cars. I mean, it's still safe, but it throws that wrench into there and can shake up things.
Yeah, you know, a lot of that kind of plays into the respect feature, you know. So, yes, a lap car can choose the bottom. He can choose the off-pace line to let these leaders go by him, but he doesn't have to by any means. He can stay there on the bottom and force the 68 to go around him as long as he's not being aggressive about an overtaking driver. If he's significantly off pace, that's when it'll start playing into effect.
Yeah, if he definitely comes into the play of the actual race going on, that's when you have a major issue. Now, personally myself, I have been that lap car that chose the bottom, and it has worked out because it allows you to pick up the draft a lot sooner than it would if you chose the outside. But I've also been the guy to choose the outside, to where you just let these guys go. There's no reason to be in their way. And, you know, he's 6 laps down now. I think he made the right decision moving up to the top side, saying, hey, my race is pretty much chopped. Let me make sure I don't destroy yours too.
Speaking of laps down, we now have 22 cars remaining on the lead lap. 61 of Jeffrey Goodwin is the last car on the lead lap. 19 seconds behind your leader, the 68 of Tom Ringer. Jonathan Geist in that 32 machine is the first car that is 2 laps down. We have no cars 1 laps down. Jonathan Geist, first car, 2 laps down.
And they are definitely going to catch those 2 lap cars unless some kind of caution comes out now. Because those 2 guys, you've got Goodwin and Brandon Hinton who are running together. But they're the first cars a lap down, as you said. So, leading group just kind of sprawled out real crazy right there.
Looks like the 56 and the 58 made a little bit of contact there. They were both able to keep it ironed out. Nobody lost any positions or lost the pace as we stay green flag racing. 87 laps in the books.
Laps are starting to tick down, and it looks like we've kind of figured out a green flag run. Now, the question is, do you have the fuel, and do you think you're in the right spot? So currently out of this lead lap group, where would you want to be there, Hunter?
I mean, it's all kind of the same as of right now. You know, everybody is single file other than those back 2 cars just ticking off laps. So we're not really into the nitty-gritty of racing here until these laps start ticking down. We're about 15-10 to go.
And I have to agree with you on that. It doesn't kind of really matter right now, especially with knowing there's the potential of another pit stop coming. it's all about the undercut right now because you know nobody has it on fuel. So undercutting is going to be your friend.
Like I said, we got about a 35 to 45 lap fuel window. We have about 35 laps to go. So I expect to see these guys starting to get within their fuel window to make it there to the end.
Yeah, these guys are running real hard, but you know, you said 35 lap window. Last time Tom Ringer was on pit road was 37 laps.
43 around. 43 around. 29 car involved. 43 around. That is Donald Calcutt. That is Hunter Cox in the 43. That was up there in second and third place position. We're going to step away to a quick commercial break. We will be right back.
Mom, can I have a popsicle?
No, honey, you'll spoil your...
Hey parents, tired of those out-of-control kids? Throwing embarrassing tantrums wherever they go. At the grocery store, on the playground, even at the dinner table. You've had it with parenting, but wait, there is a solution. Introducing Naptime, the latest, most effective tool for child tantrum prevention. It's simple. Just douse a rag with our patented Sleepy Time formula, place it over your child's cry hole, press and hold gently for 8 to 12 seconds, and presto, no more tantrum.
I was beginning to think adoption was the only way out. Then a friend of mine introduced me to Naptime. It's never been so quiet around here.
The secret lies in Naptime's revolutionary fast-to-sleep formula. Developed by military-trained scientist doctors from NASA, Naptime's powerful molecules rush to the child's brain on contact, gently inducing instant tranquility.
This is chloroform.
Already put those wallet-draining crap factories out on the street? That's okay! Naptime works in any situation. On the golf course. An awkward blind date.
I had a really good time tonight.
It even works on pets.
After we had our first child here, we regretted it almost immediately.
We didn't know that she'd cry so much.
Talk about defective. But thanks to Naptime, our little Samantha here hasn't made a noise in weeks. I keep her in a shoebox.
Call now and we'll send you your very own 24-ounce bottle of Naptime solution for only 23 easy payments of $1.99. But wait, there's more. Act quickly and you'll also receive the all-new Dream Sack absolutely free. It's compact and portable for those on-the-go tantrums. Just cover it, tighten it, and forget about it. It's that simple.
We can't breathe good.
So if this looks familiar...
I feel pregnant.
Then don't wait! Order today and join the millions of Americans who just can't stop saying...
Thanks, Naptime.
Thanks, Naptime.
Thanks, Naptime.
Naptime, when they just won't shut up. Naptime is not legal in the following states.
Welcome back after that quick commercial break. We do have a special guest up here in the broadcast booth. We got Earl Grumpy Lee, who is up here in this race, was involved in an incident or two. Earl, how'd that race go for you?
Hey, it was great until I passed the lead car on the that gave me a black flag, and then, but it was fun. I mean, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Earl, you raced your way all the way up there. I mean, you gritted P33, and next thing we know, you're sitting there P2 on the start, man. How did you get all the way up there?
That's my strategy in every race. Start at the back and just let them, one by one, they're going to fall out, and you're going to move up.
Now, we know your specialty is the super speedways, right? You know, the Daytona, the Talladega, and the occasional Atlanta. How did you think the racing out there was tonight? We had a lot of aggressive moves. We've had a few cautions. You know, what'd you think so far?
Well, that's the thing about a super speedway is that you got to be patient. You just can't go out there and think you're going to go from fifth to first. Be patient and let it come to you.
Sorry to cut you off there. We got the green flag coming out right here.
Yeah, we're
29 of Donald Calcutt leading this field to the green. 79 of Jordan Tross running in second.
Yeah, Calcutt was involved in that incident, but he was managed to get the damage repaired there, and he is now back out as front. And here's the crazy part. This is the thing that these guys, are working towards. You got a rat think 1, 2, 3, 4 right now.
Those guys have finally got bumper to bumper like they were saying they wanted to do earlier. Look who is sitting back in 6th place and 7th place. You got 63 of Craig Knoll up to the 5th place. 13 of Tanner Honeycutt running up in 6th.
Two guys that seem to snake their way up towards the front. They're very good about that. Oh, we got cars in the wall. 59. Another car into the wall. They are not turned around. We are still able to keep green.
Oh, there they go. 43 involved. Let's see if we can go back and get a look from the 43 car of Hunter Cox. Looks like he was involved and not too happy to be involved in that.
Looks like he's running that kind of high line right there, kind of trying to make something work with two of the Rat Fink guys right there. He's desperate to get back towards the front. I can't fault him for that. When you lose all that kind of track position, especially when you're running up front for so long, you want to get back there. But we come off of an exit, turn 2. He scrubs the wall a little bit. Cars in front of him do too. 59 and the 58, I think, come together. But then he takes that apron line. And you're just kind of like, he had no idea. He had no idea that was happening near him.
Yeah, it's a hard perspective because he went down to avoid the wreck. However, he didn't get off the throttle. He stayed into the gas into turn 3, which so you're not going to be able to hold that car wide open on the apron into turn 3. So it's difficult to try to, if you're trying to avoid the wreck, pull off onto the apron, get on the brakes. But also keep in mind, here at Atlanta, you cannot pass below that white and red line. So it's kind of a sticky situation that gets in there. But we're going to step away to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with you.
Bud. Wines. Bud. Bud. Wines. Bud. Bud. Wines. Bud. Wines. Bud. Bud. Wines. Bud. Wines. Bud. Wines. Bud. Wines. Bud.
And welcome back after that quick commercial break. We do have a new joining us up here in the booth, Scott Hodges. Scott, how you doing tonight?
Doing well, guys. How are y'all?
Oh, it's been an interesting race to go so far. We actually have a new race leader that happened under that last caution, the 29 of Donald Calcutt. DES newcomer currently leading this race. DES veteran Jordan Trost, who is outside, and the Rat Fink team follows in suit. Pace truck pulls off into the Geico restart zone, and up through the gears we go.
And then crashed. I'm back. Are we having 3 broadcasters now?
Of Donald Calcutt is going to surrender that lead to the 79 of Jordan Tross. Jordan's going to stay up there on that high lane, try to bring his teammate, the 56 of Mark Holloway, down there with him. You have Ratfink teammate 68 of Tom Ringer on the inside behind that 29 car. Racing is starting to pick up as we now have 25 laps remaining in the session.
Yeah, it looks like these guys are starting to figure it out a little more and more. You know, maybe that outside line can come into some kind of fruition and they can get charging back towards the front.
One thing that I did notice, let's see if we can get our track map pulled up. You know, in the previous restarts, how we were splitting into 2, 3, sometimes 4 groups? You should look at this group now as we are all right here together.
Yeah, there's no separation now. There's no longer going out there and saving your materials, trying to avoid things. The laps are ticking down fast. You've got to start moving towards the front, as we've got a car into the wall, actually, and he's able to maintain going forward. But that's going to kill momentum for him.
Scott, what you thinking out here? If you were, if you could pick where you could be on this field, who would you want to be, and where would you want to be?
I'd rather be just in the back so I can tell what's going on in the front, but just being in the mid pack and I would like to be in the outside lane. The outside lane hasn't been anywhere today, just nowhere to be found. Everybody's going in the inside lines the fastest.
Yeah, which is interesting to see because a lot of guys have talked about this before. You know, last time we raced here at Atlanta was in the Xfinity cars. The outside lane pulls a lot of momentum if you can get the help up there to do it. So it was interesting to see, you know, I've seen 2 cars tonight able to make that outside lane work. The 79 of Jordan Tross was one of them, and I can't exactly remember who the other one was, but they were easily able to make the pass with that momentum.
One of them was Hunter Cox, and he did a great job out there, but he has a little bit added edge of aggression that kind of seems like it's needed to make that outside line work. Would you agree with me there, Scott?
Yeah, I definitely agree. It depends on just where you're at on the track and when to take that outside, because it gets a momentum in just wherever. You just got to be safe about it.
As our front 9 cars are now bumper to fender. It is interesting up here. The 9 of Tad Dabney has worked his way back up to 3rd place on that inside line. 79 of Jordan Tross with a huge run there on the outside line, as a few cars in that back group have now decided to separate themselves from the lead pack. I think they see how tight of this racing is, and they think something's about to ensue.
Now, Tad Dabney's a very interesting guy to talk about. He has not been anywhere towards the front 90% of this race, and now look at him right up there. You know, he's been in the back battling people, understanding how the racing is done when cars are all around you. So he may have a little added advantage, but you have to also remember Tom Ringer and all those guys raced their way up here. So they have that same kind of notion going for them and understanding of the track.
Another guy we have yet to talk about tonight is currently running 6th place in that inside line. The 5 car of Brandon Hinton, elected not to qualify at the start of this race, gridded in 27th, has now made his way to knocking outside the top 10.
And that's one great thing about Brandon Hinton. He is never really to the front early on. I mean, he's qualified pole a few times, but 9 times out of 10, he is starting from the back. He is taking his time to learn, to become analytical, to understand the track around him, and it comes out to pay for him. And look how it's working out right now.
Yeah, that 5 today has just been just staying consistent. but he'll probably be up there here in the next 10 laps or so, I think.
Another interesting feat about the 5 car of Brandon Hinton is he is our next gen reigning champion. He won last season's championship for the next gen series, the first ever DES next gen series, and here he is running up here in the top 10.
And the interesting thing about him winning that championship, he won it over the guy currently sitting in P2 and leading the points right now, Tom Ringer, a strong driver. So that should tell you something about the caliber of the Next Gen series and how tough it can be when you know that 2 of the guys who finished 1-2 for the championship last season are still consistently towards the front now.
67 of Charles Connor and the 6 car of Ryan Godfrey have now caught the rear of this front pack to the back bumper of the 69. 67 is going to go high, try to go behind that 23, get the high line rolling.
With 15 and a half laps left, Scott Hodge, would you change your opinion about where you would want to be running right now?
Yes, I would. I would probably go down to the inside right now. Just stay there until about 4 or 3 laps go, and I'll go high side.
Oh, car around 56, 13 involved, 63, massive wreck in this front pack.
Looks like 67 also got a tail end of that. He tried to avoid it on the top side and got collected.
Let's see if we can... Let's see if we can get a quick little replay here. If you look at the perspective of the 13 car of Tanner Honeycutt, he was involved in this. Let's see what happened out here. A lot of cars moving around, really close racing.
Oh, it looks like it was the 9 car Tad Dabney that got launched into the wall there.
It was the guy that whoever went into the middle lane. They try to go middle, and that's what happened there.
I think the 56 of Mark Holloway was the first car to go around. I think the rest were just subsequent results of everything that just happened. Looks like some massive netcode there with the 13 of Tanner Honeycutt.
Well, if you look at it just ever so slightly right before this, the 13 moves up, the 1 car has a head of steam, and that car just comes up out of nowhere on him, gives him that tap, and then net codes into the 56, and that's what sends it into the 9 car, which launches him into the wall.
Well, Scott, looks like your original ideology would have saved you out of this wreck. Running back there in that second pack, although you would have been off pace, you would have just been able to avoid that. As we are now cycling through for what I expect to be our last set of pit stops for the night. Throw some fresh Goodyears on here. The 61 of Jeffrey Goodwin is going to be your lucky dog candidate to wrap up the 20 cars remaining on the lead lap.
That's going to put Jeffrey Goodwin on to the lead lap. But talking about our point standings here in the Next Gen Series, you got Tom Ringer leading his 2 teammates, Todd Perrant, Mark Holloway, then Jerry Bergeron, Chuck Burley, Matthew Tennant, Brandon Hinton, Sean Dion, Charles Connor, and Thomas Long rounding out your top 10.
Yeah, one thing to point out, is within your top 10, it's about a 72-point gap difference between 1st and 10th place, right? So being that we have no stage breaks here in the Next Gen Series, it's going to be interesting to see how, the 10th place car of Thomas Long can recuperate 72 points specifically based off of where he finishes. Like I said, there's no additional stage points, so all of those points are made up to where these guys finish in these races.
And it's not going to help Thomas Long's situation considering he's still on pit road right now. But people who are benefiting from that, you've got that top 5. They're all still out here on the track. You've got a couple guys sporadically through that. Charles Connor is actually coming back on track. So you've got a lot of shake up here, and that's what super speedways do. They shake up the running orders, man.
Yeah, it's interesting, and this isn't a standard super speedway. This is a super speedway with tire wear. So it's weird to say because you go to Talladega and Daytona, you can run 60 to 80 laps on one set of tires, and the only time you'll ever feel it is entering and exiting your pit box. So these guys are feeling it every time they go through the quad oval to bring it down to the bottom. Every time they try to hug that white line going through 1 and 2 or 3 and 4. So it's interesting to see how these guys are working through this.
Oh yeah, especially when you got to understand there's only 6 races until we hit the playoffs for next gen. So these guys are working hard to make sure this works out for them. So, you know, paying attention to your points, getting into those points battles as Thomas Long is back on pit road. He is making sure he's getting the most points he can today.
As we are now single file into turn number 3. Let's look at our front 5. You got Donald Calquette in the 29 car leading this charge. 79 of Jordan Trost to his outside. 68 of Tom Ringer on the inside of row number 2 with the 63 of Craig Knoll to the outside. 69 of Todd Perrant, row number 3. 48 of Max Dinda to his outside. Here we go. 10 laps to go. Back to the green flag.
And look who's worked his way back up into the top 8 at least. Dakota Shears. He is back up there as the 29 car gets a massive jump on the field.
I expect this racing, so what we've seen so far, I expect this racing to intensify tenfold here within these last 10 laps.
This is when you got to go all in. This is where you can get first place or 10th place. It don't matter, or last.
For me personally, it's hard on these super speedway-like tracks to know when to push, right? So you think there's going to be another accident just based off of it's a super speedway. Everybody's pushing, everybody's fast, and everybody has a run. You know, so what lap marker, you know, would it be 10 to go, 5 to go, 2 to go? What lap marker would you utilize to say, like, hey, this is my time, I need to push right now?
Well, it depends on what position you're at. If you're about 10th or 12th, you got to push it now. But if you're in the top at least 6, you can push it about 5 laps to go, maybe even 4.
I have to agree with you on that. If I was anywhere in this top 6 group, I'm kind of chilling. I'm trying to maintain. But if I'm back where Tanner Honeycutt, Ryan Godfrey, or any of them are back there, I'm putting pedal to the metal. It's time to start moving.
Oh, as we got our first taker to look to go 3 wide, the one of Gary Bergeron shoots the gap 3 wide there in the middle. He's going to secure that outside lane. Looks like he's not willing to give it up just yet. He's going to keep pushing, trying to make his way to the front.
Looks like Jordan Trost is kind of hung out on that outside right now as the 29 and 68 are kind of separating themselves away from the field right now.
48 of Max Dinda, man. Those bumpers have not left contact in that last lap as they finally separate to give the 48 a little bit of air on the nose. 79 is going to have a huge run here to the quad oval side by side for the lead.
That 29 is trying his hardest to stay in front. You know, he is a newcomer. This is, if I remember correctly, this is his first or second race like that. So he's in real good company. He's really going to have to work with it.
79 was clear for a brief second. Looks like he's not going to take the bottom. Going to try to pull the 48 with him. 48 back to the rear bumper. The 79 loses a little bit of momentum there coming out of turn number 4. Side by side again.
And it's good, smart move on the 48. He realized they were off center, and he decided, I'm not going to push you right here. And he let some air be put between their bumpers. That is by far a smart move because that was a recipe for disaster.
Here comes this outside lane. It's that 48. Oh, in the backstretch. Wrecking.
Looks like we have some wrecking on the backstretch. We are staying green as of right now. Let's see if we can go back there and look and see what happened. Looks like the 6 car of Ryan Godfrey and the 23 may have been involved. 23 around, 6 days good, single car accident. We stay green flag racing.
And that's what these leaders wanted to hear. They wanted to make sure this race was staying green, as it looks like it's the 82 of Christopher Morton, and he kind of loses it down towards the apron. But they definitely wanted this race to stay green, because a caution creates a new problem with we are now hitting 5 to go.
You got to push it. If you're the 8 or back, you got to push it now.
I'd have to agree with you, as we are now 4 laps to go. Now is time to go. If we think we're going to stay green to the end, we got to start making these moves. As the 79's clear, 48's going to dive to the inside. Leave the 79 up
There's
there
the
high.
biggest move of the day right there. That 48. He's going.
29's going to ride in the middle lane. 68 of Tom Ringer looking to take it 3 wide with the 48 of Max. Oh, and Max moved the 48 around.
And it looks like a single car spin.
Caution came out by iRacing. Caution is out. 48 car around.
iRacing would have thrown the caution if it felt that his car was coming to a stop on the track, and it actually came out because his car was facing backwards, which is another reason iRacing will throw the caution. They don't want that car to try and make a U-turn while the track is live.
That is one of the dangers that you'll see here, the quad oval. It looks like the 68 of Tom Ringer gave a nice shove there to the 48, which would have been perfect if we were there on the backstretch. But we're going to take a quick commercial break. We will be right back to close out this race.
This looks great. This must be yours. I found it on the kitchen table.
Thanks.
Mommy, have you seen my hamster?
Well, isn't he asleep in his cage?
Have you seen my hamster then?
No.
But honey, go upstairs and look thoroughly. I'm sure. Probably behind the bed, like where you found him last time.
Okay.
Welcome back after that quick commercial break. We had an incident where the 48 and the 68 got together there on the quad oval. 48 went around, brought out a caution. We are now green-white checker attempt, 1 of 2. What that means is once we take the green flag, we will come around again to take the white flag. Once the white flag is out, we will go to the checkered regardless of what happens. If there is a yellow flag prior to that white flag, we will re-line them up, stack them up, and we will give it one more attempt before this race ends.
And I got to call out one thing right here. There is a new race leader. Throughout all that excitement, he's slipped through the cracks. Matthew Tennant is leading this race.
Matthew Tennant has been a consistent front runner up here tonight. He hasn't necessarily been hard contesting for the lead, but he's been running up there, I want to say within the top 5, maybe 8 cars for most of the night. He gridded in 5th place, started in 5th, and has not left it.
Just watch for that 59 car. I mean, he's been quiet, but he's going to make a little bit of big noise out here when he's going to come up to the green, I think. I think he's got a good shot.
I definitely think he does, but there's at least 15 other cars stacked up behind him wanting to make sure that they're the one that win this race. As the lights on the pace truck are off, we're going to see it dip down here, and we're going to start green-white checker attempt number 1.
I'd want to be where that one car is, man. Shove that 59 like nobody's business as soon as they go green. Shove him for a lap, separate yourself, and then as soon as the opportunity comes, duck out to his outside and take that position.
Y'all were driving. What line would you want right now? Which line?
Me personally, I'm more of the, I don't think we're going to finish on this green-white checkered. I think we're going to have another yellow. I want to be right there where that 59 or the 1 is. I want to be on that inside line. They're going to have the shortest way around the track, and they're not going to have to work as hard to hold that momentum.
I agree. Like I said, I'd want to be where the 1 is. What about you, Scott?
Yeah, I would rather give the push and then get pushed. So I think he's in the best opportunity right now. Unless if we stay green, I think he's got the best chance to win.
Green flag is out. There's a bit of a checkup there. 59 and 79 stay side by side. Only difference is 79 has the 29 locked to his rear bumper. I expect to see the momentum carry here as Gary Bergeron tries to get back to the rear bumper, the 59. Let's see if the 79 can clear.
One car is able to get back there to the 59, so now he's going to be giving him a shove. He wants to get that inside line. There.
Here comes the inside line, guys. Here comes the inside line. It's going. It's going.
79 was clear, elected not to stay on the bottom. One's going to go to the high side as we take the white flag here. 13 out of the rear bumper, the 59, 1 to the outside. Sorry.
Little early for the one car to make that move because look at the separation. The 13's going to give that 59 that shove, and he's going to be looking to take that car to the front to get around him.
As cars are stacking up here, entering turns 3 and 4, the final lap. Who's it going to be? One car, 59 car, or somebody behind? 79 is going to look to push 3 wide. One's going to get shoved high. 79 is going to look to the inside.
3 wide finish. Who took it? And there's a big wreck.
One car of Gary Bergeron pulls away that win.
I was right, folks.
That was a spectacular finish there to the end. Look at that photo finish. You know, the one car was able to roll the high line, or went to the high line, got back low in front, left the 79 out to dry. 79 tried moving him to the high lane, and chaos ensued.
We almost had a 4 wide finish to that. If the 13 had gotten in there a little bit more, or the 59 had gotten in there a little bit more, we would have had a 4 wide finish for the win.
Man, go
ahead,
Scott.
Great race, guys. Great race. I just wanted to give a good shout out, and that could have been a 4 wide race, guys. What do y'all think?
I think overall, man, that was a spectacular finish. These guys were out here, you know, just wheeling these cars. Atlanta is not an easy track. You know, there were a decent amount of cautions. We're going to get our first interviewee in here. We have the 29 car of Donald Kalka, a DES newcomer, pulling away a 3rd place finish here at Atlanta in the NextGen. Donald, walk us through how that race went for you tonight.
I was just trying to take it easy. Honestly, I was slow but steady. I started 31st or 32nd, and I was just trying to ease my way to the front. And whenever I got there, I just tried to make it a point to stay there. During that late caution, right before the green-white checker, we got shuffled up. Me and my teammates ended up 2nd, 4th, 6th. And during that restart, I was trying to push him to the win the best way I could. That's all. I'm happy with the 3rd place finish after starting where I did, and I'm glad, you know, we had a good team run overall. So,
yeah, Donald, towards the end of that race, you were kind of the controlling car. You were out front for a while. Were you kind of just watching over your shoulder, thinking something was going to pop up and try and come and bite you?
No, honestly, with my teammate behind me, I was pretty confident with the way that we were running. Like I said, it didn't play out that way in the end. It is what it is. It's racing. But I'm still happy with the top 5.
What kind of strategies did you play out here tonight? I saw you started from the rear. You made your way to the front. Was there any specific strategy calls that were like, you know, this is what helped me move my way to the front?
Me and my teammates, pretty much at the beginning, we dropped to the back of the pack, and we were just trying to avoid any wrecks, any incidents that were going to happen. And that's what we did, and we executed our plan to perfection almost. A couple of our guys got wrecked there at the very end before the green-white checker, and after that, so it kind of derailed the plan a little bit, but for the most part, what we planned and stuck to, it worked. There's a couple of us started up front, like Jordan started on the pole. Those guys, they were up front the whole race, but us that started in the back, I missed qualifying, so like I said, it was just slow and steady. It's a long race, just one lap at a time, and we'll be at the front by the end.
Well, Donald, congratulations on your first race here in DES, pulling off a 3rd place finish. I look forward to seeing how you compete with the rest of these guys for the rest of the season. Once again, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're going to get our second place finisher in here, the 79 of Jordan Tross. '79 here of Jordan Tross, our second place finisher here for tonight. Jordan, walk us through that race.
Yeah, that was an eventful one. Definitely a long one for a super speedway there. And my whole goal was just to try to stay up front, stay clean, and managed to do that the whole race and finish with 0 incident points.
Hey Jordan, so what were you thinking out there when you were at that restart? What were you thinking? What was your thoughts?
Well, I had a bunch of teammates with me on the outside, and I really wanted to stick with them to try to get the best finishes for our team as we could. And if I blocked the bottom, I probably could have got the win tonight, but stuck it up there with the team to hope to pull us around, and we still got at least 4 cars in the top 10 there, I see. So overall, a fairly decent night. Looks like all of us finished the race tonight, so just good results all around.
Yeah, for a while we saw, Rat Fink was just dominating up there in the top 5. That last restart was very interesting. I mean, we were kind of up here like polling, where would you want to be right here? Do you want to be on the inside? Do you want to be on the outside? The one started on the inside, made the move to the outside, and then came back down. So it was honestly, up here from the booth, there was some awesome racing all around. Do you have any specific strategy calls that you made out there tonight that kind of led you to where you were, or do you just kind of play the track position card?
Yeah, I just kind of pit when I knew it was going to be a 2-stop race for fuel, and so every time the fuel window opened for that chance, I took it. And if you do it on the first caution, usually you'll cycle out to the front when everybody else pits after you. And I mean, we had a few cautions here tonight, so it's just basically pick and choose which ones you wanted to, and the earlier you did, the more likely you were to cycle to the front on strategy. It was pretty hard to pass. You can make it 3 wide here, but you have to be careful who you're racing with because not everybody's super experienced. So it's just a bit of knowledge on who you're racing with, and it's always tough to try to figure out what the best option is to try to get to the finish line clean.
Very well said, Jordan. Congratulations on your second place finish here tonight. Looking forward to seeing how this season continues to grow for the 79 team. Congratulations once again.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you guys for the broadcast, and thank you, Ratfink, for having me there with the team, and glad we could all finish the race tonight and get good finishes.
Jordan Tross, your second place finisher. Now we're going to get the 1 car of Jerry Bergeron. Jerry, walk us through that last restart as we're looking here at this photo finish. Wow.
What a wild race and such great competition at D-Racing. I'm telling you, I had a good time. I was just talking to Donald and that, and how we raced it clean to the last lap. It was great racing.
Yeah, Gary. I had you actually winning here. You were 4th right behind, I forgot who you were behind, but you were behind in that restart 4th. And I just was saying, I think you have the best shot to win. And how do you feel about that?
Feeling great. I mean, that one time I was losing a lot of positions. I got lost at yellow. So if it wasn't a yellow, I wouldn't be up here in first place. But I took advantage of that and ended up catching a few good drafts, sniffed out the cars and down the track, and I just moved up fast, and there I was at the end.
Gary, we've been talking with you since you have entered this league. You entered the league, you kind of got your feet wet, and then you have been a consistent front runner up there ever since. How do you look forward to carrying this momentum here from Atlanta into next week's race?
Well, I'm enjoying it. It's my second win there. Won one, about 5-6 weeks ago. I was at Texas, if I remember right. So it's my second win in DIS racing. So next week I'm going to be going on vacation, so I won't be around. I'll be going to see some real stock car racing.
That's awesome, Gary. What an absolute awesome race out here tonight. Congratulations on your win. And I look forward to seeing you continuing your DES racing and have a strong finish to the season.
I will be around. DES racing is my favorite league right now, so I'll be around.
Awesome. Once again, congratulations to the one car. Gary Bergeron, your race winner here tonight at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Yeah, that was an outstanding race, man. I enjoyed every second of it. Scott, that was amazing, man. I'm glad you came in here and joined us for it too.
Oh, thank you for having me, guys. Well, I hope I can join y'all again sometime. Luckily, I just had a great time in here. Y'all were a great crew. Hope y'all would say the same. But yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. What a phenomenal finish here tonight. I want to thank the producer, Damon, for this awesome broadcast put on here tonight. Edwin in the booth with me, Scott in the booth with me. We did a phenomenal job. The race out here was awesome to watch. So until next week, see ya.
See ya.
Bye.